No. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Namaste. Jumbo. Ashe. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Grand rising. Top of the morning. Good. Whatever time it is where you are. Happy Heart and Love Day. Happy Ash Wednesday. Shalom. Shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. Namaste. I'm Napashta. I quickly wanted to address a video that I just saw on my feed and I watched a little bit. Basically, I'm assuming it doesn't matter. It could be non-white, but it is an issue about what's going on with race and identity. There is a YouTuber who has done a video and put it out there and doing commentary on the issue where roles in theater and animation and acting and all the big screen, silver screen, I think it's called, if that's what it's called. Everything's being opened and more inclusive for different races. And this person, I got the gist of it on his video essay. He says, "Oh, you know what? Historically white characters are now being portrayed as, South Asian people, Latino people, Black people. But we know that these characters were, he names Isaac Newton, he names some of the British royalty, he names a few historically white characters, but he also throws in like Velma from Scooby-Doo, Snow White, Peter Pan. Sidebar, those aren't even real characters, and their race was never mentioned in the stories. Okay, it never said, "Oh, Peter Pan is a little white boy." It never said that. It never says Velma is a white girl. So you're wrong about that. And I just want to come out and say there is something called karma. And you got to know this. Whatever energy is sent out, it has to come back. And it is a good thing because it comes back and it does correction. Since the beginning of time, I'm going to say, scratch that. Since the beginning of entertainment and theater that we know it as, like TV and animation, not only has there not been any representation of any other race besides what we know as the white race, which this isn't against white race, but I'm telling you facts. There's been nothing else represented besides white, very, very Caucasian looking people, not even ambiguous. So that's what we've seen in entertainment. Now the entertainment business is like, you know what? Let's start. They're more than just these people who look like this. And I want to see more. Yes, I want to see more disabled people. I want to see people who are amputees. I want to see people who are in wheelchairs. They tried to do, a couple things, Ironside and stuff like that. And they did have that one family show where the boy, I forgot what it's called, but the boy had Down syndrome. That was great. We don't have enough of it though. Oh, we do have the good doctor. He's autistic. We need more. We need more because guess what? All of these people that we're talking about are watching these movies and they're watching these animations and they're watching these shows. So he's complaining about it, He thinks, well, why are we making these characters? He has on his thumbnail, I shared it. He showed, I guess, Fiona with cornrows and braids. That's offensive. That's just a bitter person. Again, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's white. I don't know if he's Black. I don't know if he's Asian, but it's a bitter person who doesn't like to see things change for the better. You want to throw it in with, oh, you're trying to just make this all woke. No, it's more realistic for me to turn on the TV and see people who aren't just one uniform type of people. And for, I'm going to say centuries, or, let's see, 2020, for a century, we've been seeing, almost a century, we've been seeing, starting with moving films, Charlie Chaplin, even though they were silent. We didn't see anything besides just one type of people. And when we did see anybody Black or Native American, they really weren't even Black people or Native American people. They were painted. They were in actual makeup. It was blackface. The Native Americans were, again, Caucasian people with their face painted in a certain way. The Black people had their face painted a certain. What's his name? Is it Al Jolson? I got to look back. But so come on, stop crying. The chickens are home to roost. Where we've come full circle. Why are you upset? And the good thing is, let me tell you how you can see when things are risen above and who's the better person. Now that we're seeing these characters depicted, it's not demeaning. It's not putting down white people. It's not making fun of white people. I watched Little Rascals. We were watching the classics with my children. I was laughing out of shock how racist and how demeaning and how just so offensive they were with those with Stymie and Buckwheat. Stymie was sweating, helping them bake a cake. When he wiped his forehead in the sweat, he flung it off of his hand and it hit the wall and it was black paint on the wall. That's not happening with this new conscious, I should say, more sensitive, inclusive movement to include different types of ethnicities, different types of people on the screen. But there's always going to be that one person who kicks and screams and hates to see things get better. Notice I don't have to attack a race to tell the truth, because there are a lot of white people who really want to see people depicted as, with diversity. And what else I was going to say? Oh, also, there were some very, very close-minded, rigid, dusty, constipated politicians and news media people who were upset that the so-called Black national anthem was sung at the Super Bowl. Why? What is wrong with you? And then somebody complained, what are we going to do next? Are we going to be having everybody sing their national anthem at the Super Bowl? Well, it depends on who's going to be watching the Super Bowl and who likes the Super Bowl and who's included in the Super Bowl. Because last time I checked, there's a bunch of different people, bunch of different races who participate, play in the Super Bowl, watch the Super Bowl, enjoy the Super Bowl. And especially don't play with us. I'm talking about blacks, the progeny of slaves, because we will remind you that not only is America just as much of the Black Americans' country as it is the white Americans' country or the Chinese Americans' country. The infrastructure of this country was built by blacks. Okay. By African slaves. Why are we not? Look, does that mean that I'm not asking you to do anything? Look, well, I do want reparations. Yeah, why not? Didn't our Jewish brothers and sisters get reparations, and aren't they still arresting people for war crimes that happen in Germany? And I love that. Aren't the Native Americans still addressing what they deserve? Why is it when black people bring it? Oh, I know why. Because we built this country on our blood, sweat, and tears, and chattel slavery, treated like animals. Does that mean that people argue you don't have a market cornered on what happened with slavery? Well, this is the best country in the world as far as success and the way our rights are, our citizenship. So yeah, black people have definitely a seat at the table, no pun intended. Don't forget, this is Black History Month. It's Black Our Story Month. So we definitely have a seat at the table, the lunch counter. We have a seat at the table. Somebody say about how the food wasn't even good. That wasn't the point. We didn't care about how the food tasted. Okay. Rosa Parks probably would have loved to sit in the back And there was another woman who refused to stand up as well. But it's not about that. It's about what happened, what we stand for. It's about diversity as our people, Black Americans. Okay. We can say with so much honor, our forefathers and mothers paved the way for everyone. We paved the way for Eastern Indians, Southern Asians. We paved the way for, all different types of people from all walks of life, Croatians, Ukrainians. We paved the way for you here, Africans, all different types of African people. We paved the way for you to say, it's my civil right, ... to have this and that. We paved the way. So to the whiny crybaby who's saying, oh, I'm so sick of this wokeness and, oh, this political correctness and this ID crisis. Ironically, you sound like a whiny crybaby, cancel this, cancel that woke person, just like the rest of them. It's full circle. It's time for people to feel what we have felt, and not even, let me take that back. You're not even getting disrespected. You're not getting bashed over the head. Can you imagine, Mr. Echo Chamberlain channel? Can you imagine those same people that you're complaining about that are being depicted as these historically white characters? Excuse me. Can you imagine if it was back in the day when things were how you want it? Everyone was white on the silver screen. Everyone's white in the animations. Can you imagine if it was back then and they did play a part that they couldn't even sit in? Just to think about it, they wouldn't even be able to sit in the same theater and watch a movie that they're in. So not only do they get to play the parts of Peter Pan and Alexander the Great, Greek, even though they might be Eastern Indian or African American, not only do they get to do that, they also have the right to sit in the VIP section when when their work is airing on the big screen, playing on the big screen. And why? It's because we are waking up. You could say, oh, woke this, woke that. We're waking up and we're saying, what the hell? Why are we stagnant? Everybody isn't white. Everybody isn't strong and beautiful and running around there's people out here. And so he said, entertainment is based on who wants to see it. You can't have entertainment without first having those who are entertained. And those who are entertained are not just white, able-bodied people. They're the entire collective community. All right, peace.